Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Intelligent Moron with Alex Silva. Today is Thursday, February 10th. Already February and still in winter, as the calendar says and as the clock says and as the globe says, but I gotta tell you this, people. Central California right now, California in general, a little toasty. A little warm out there today. It's like around, a couple days ago, it was like in the high 60s. Today's like around the 70s area, or, that's where it's like the high is like around 70, 75, around this area. So a little toasty, a little warm for February, but, we're here, we're fine. I do kind of appreciate the cold weather a little bit more than most people, but also at the same time, I do hate being cold. I do hate it because it's like no matter what you do, if you're chilled to the bone, like if you're really chilly, no layers, no socks, no blankets will really do it unless like you really you got to get that body temperature up. You get that body temperature up and get it, going. But hasn't been too bad lately. It's gonna probably not get that much colder, I would assume, just because of how like years have been kind of been getting warmer increasingly, whether that's because of GW or not, who really knows. I know that it's getting warmer, and I'm like, I'm not really ready for that. Not really ready. Not really quite ready to let go of the cold. Because as much as I do enjoy warmer weather, cold is usually going to be better. I would rather take cold than hot as balls, to be honest with you. I just, I'd much rather bundle up and be chilly than be shirtless and still sweating my ass off. It's just something I think a lot of us would take in this situation. I'm coming here today to bring you a little bit of updates, a little bit of news, and a little bit of obsessions, what's happening. This is kind of a busy week this week if you haven't been paying attention to the news and stuff like that. Whether it be sports, entertainment, business, other things like that, global conflicts, international news. I guess you could say this might fall under that category here. But I remember maybe a few months ago, maybe even maybe 20 episodes ago, I was ranting and furious, and as I usually am on this podcast, about things that I don't appreciate and don't enjoy watching or being a part of or seeing or viewing, I guess you could say. I was not a big fan back then of the little guy, or if that's even appropriate to call him nowadays, the man, the myth, the legend, Hasbulla, Magomedov. And I've been saying I don't want him in my timeline. I don't want him in my algorithm. I don't want to see him at all. I don't care about this guy. He just kind of annoys me. My friends were like, "Have you guys seen Hasbulla?" I'm like, "No, I haven't." And I've seen him. I don't need to see this guy. He's got to piss off, Hasbulla, and your buddy Abdi Rozik. I don't need you in my life. Well, I'm here to tell you now that that's all changed. That's all drastically changed. I'm now his number one fan. Fan community, Team Hasbulla, or as his friends call him, Hasby, a big, true role model, I would say, to some degree, in his dedication to work ethic and wanting to fight Abdi Rozik. He's an inspiration. He's also fun to look at, because he's a small guy. I believe he's 18, but in the body of a 5-year-old. I mean, I've never seen anything like that in my entire life. I don't know if that's offensive or not, but, you can't help half of his succession is because of his appearance and the way he talks and the way he squeaks and shit. His laughter. Also because he's a huge TikTok star. Huge on TikTok, huge on the talk. I'm not that big on the talk. I just get my talks from Instagram Reels, which if you've... it's an annoyance that I have. If you haven't been following me on Twitter, I posted my final thoughts on a survey that I did, a few days ago on their service and on their site, and I just thought it was so hilarious that, the last question, one of their questions was, is Instagram good for the world? I couldn't help but laugh at that. I'm like, what do you think? I'm not going to say what I put, but I was just like, because that's private, that's between me and Instagram. It's a private relationship type of thing. But it's, I just thought that question was so funny. Anyway, back to the issue of this episode, and I guess you could say my coming of age, my wake up call. The Great Awakening is me becoming a huge fan of Hasbulla, and just, and kind of like a deep, not hatred, but a rivalry between him and Abdu Rozik and his I just want to see these two guys fight. I think everybody wants to. He's been in talks with Dana White, the UFC. He's been to America a couple times, I think. Hasbulla and Dana White's met with him in Abu Dhabi. I mean, it's all been documented, right? It's all out there. It's all entertainment for us to see and to, I guess, waste time with, and just, kind of just be like, oh, when's he going to fight Abdu Rozik, or when's Abdu Rozik going to fight Hasbulla? The back and forth like that. And there's different clans and there's different tribes. There's Hasbulla fans, there's Abdu Rozik fans, and I just kind of want to talk about how this even happened, or why this even happened, because there is absolutely no reason that any of us in this country, or any other country that, that isn't their home country, their homeland, where their people, their family are from, why the F do we even give anything? Why do we care about them? Why do we care about Abdu Rozik? Why do we care about Hasbulla or Hasbi? I've been talking to my friends, and it's all bled to my friends, and it's bled, pretty rapidly. And it's happened, like, people are like sending me Hasbulla clips, Abdu Rozik clips, and it's just like, it's funny, it's fun to watch, it's fun to pass the time, it's entertaining. It's like, what the fuck? Because you get to see, like, the stuff that they do in their countries and all that, like Hasbulla's like a mob boss, essentially. He's got an entourage. He's always walking in front of them. They're walking behind him, like, speaking in their language, like, that's a bad impression of Dagestan, the dialect, or Russian, whatever they speak. But it's like, I just kind of feel like that mob mentality with Hasbulla and Abdu Rozik. Like, these guys got a big team of bodyguards, and their promoters, and then their managers and all that. It's just like, oh, these guys are big time, like, you know what I'm saying, like, big time. And I'm just kind of thinking, like, how did this even start? How did this happen? Because I remember, like, maybe a year and a half ago, right, there was some remnants in this about this little guy in Dagestan, they called him the mini Khabib, back then. Like, that was his nickname back then, before we even really knew that. I think that his name was actually Hasbulla, or Hasbi. And that he was compared to Khabib and all that. He was a fighter, and he was, like, training to fight with Khabib and all that. And it's like, he blew up on TikTok and all that. And just, like, his popularity shot through the roof. Everywhere, and pretty much everywhere, especially in America. You get people putting him in memes, just posting pictures about him. So many other accounts that aren't his actual account supporting him and posting out clips and all that. And I kind of wanted to really get down to, like, how did this even start? How did this happen? We all know, like, the mini Khabib thing, but I have a theory. All right, I have a theory, and it could be potentially true, untrue. I have no idea. I just was thinking one day and was like, I have no insider information. I have no clue about anything. But, like, just thinking in my head, right? Thinking in my head, like, how the F did these guys freaking, like, within like a span of, like, I don't know, 7 months, just take control of American algorithms and American minds on social media, on TikTok, and just fully just grasp our brains, right? And I got to thinking, like, well, it would be weird if these guys were, like, created in a Russian lab and then released into their respected countries in Dagestan and Tajikistan, and brought up to in the fighting culture, like, around those countries, because that's where a lot of MMA fighters are located and all that. That's where big sports is there. Naturally, they have to they get into fighting and all that. They meet up with each other. They got fiery personalities, and they're fucking 3 feet tall. And they're not like kids or actual adults. They're both 18, I think. And it's that, for whatever reason in our brains and in our social media entertainment, we just glued our minds to that. And we absolutely cannot let go of it. It's just so bizarre to me. And I don't really think that that was, we thought that it would ever happen, but it has happened. There are so many people out there. I mean, he's been talked about on so many Hasbulla's been talked about on so many podcasts, so many big podcasts. I think Joe Rogan has mentioned him a couple times. Bro, if Hasbulla's name is being mentioned on Joe Rogan, and they're not even really talking about him, he's just kind of mentioned that these guys know of him, and they're like, oh yeah, he can fight. Oh my god. And then they've succeeded. The whoever, if my theory is true, which I don't think it is, it's just a theory. It's just my mind, brainstorming literally in my brain. Don't take anything I say about this theory truth, because it's probably not true that they were created to see how, fast the Russian government could to grasp the minds and the algorithms of the American people. So far, they've succeeded. They've succeeded, because I was trying to reject it as far as I could, as much as I could. And then I'm like, you know what? Let me see what this guy's about. And I'm like, this guy's a character. This guy's entertaining. This guy's small. He's funny. I couldn't stop. And in that process, I've become an Abdu Rozakator. An Abdu Rozakator. And not because I think that he can beat Hasbulla. No, I think Hasbulla would mop the floor with that guy. Without question. No difficulty. Just would mop the floor with Abdu Rozak. No question. And this new guy that Abdu's got, this new guy, his buddy that's in his TikToks and his videos and his singing and all that, he's a little bit taller than Abdu Rozak, which is okay, you're getting a little too big, right? You don't got the small factor anymore. You're getting a little too big. There's a threshold of where it works and where it doesn't. Hasbulla works, Abdu works. This guy doesn't work, and I'm seeing other people like this too, that are small, that are look a little bit different. I don't want to offend anybody. I got to be careful here, and that have some kind of something different about them. That they've all kind of gravitated to social media and TikTok and all that, and just kind of exploded. And that's good for them. I mean, they could do whatever the hell they want. It doesn't mean they don't have to look like me or you to do TikTok. And they've succeeded. Even more than what I would probably succeed. I mean, I doubt I could get a 10,000th of what Hasbulla or Abdu Rozak even has. But back to the point of me not liking Abdu Rozak and being an Hasby fan. Team Hasby, salute. The fact that this guy just kind of feels like he's more show business than fighting. Hasbulla, he's scrappy. He's a fighter. He's a warrior. He's willing to put his body, all 3 feet of it, on the line to beat Abdu Rozak. All 3 feet and a half of him, to put him not in the grave, but on the mat, down, tap out. And I'm just I love that about that little guy. I love that about him. I love his passion and his back and forth with Abdu Rozak. And Abdu Rozak, listen. I think Abdu, at the beginning, when he first got popular, was yeah, I'm going to fight this guy. But then after he discovered how good he was at TikTok, and he is good at it, he knows what to do and what to post, and he makes it, entertaining for other people. But he's so entranced in that world now that not as much as more than Hasbulla is. And I feel like that's just he's made his main stance on TikTok and all that. I just kind of feel oh, does this guy want to fight Hasbulla still? Is it all for show? Does Hasbulla even want to fight him? I don't even know anymore, to be honest with you. I mean, that's going to be the most seen fight, guaranteed, of the last decade. Last 2 decades, probably. Hasbulla versus Abdu Rozak, you bet your money. I never bought a Floyd Money Mayweather fight. I will buy an Hasbulla Magomedov fight. No question, without question. Now, is it going to be on ESPN Plus on the UFC? With that kind of pay-per-view, is it going to be on Triller? What's it going to be on? YouTube. If it's on some sketchy Russian or Dagestani website, I might be out of that shit. But if it's on ESPN Plus, UFC, you bet your ass I'm going to buy that. That's going to be the main event. Could you imagine that? Could you actually imagine? Those guys will get tired just walking around the octagon. They'll be, winded. I mean, not to mention fighting. I mean, but these guys, when you see them get like close to each other, like they're going to be like at a face-off, they get pretty into it. And you've seen Hasbulla. He's got like red marks all over his cheeks and his mouth. Like he's sparring, dude. He's a warrior. He's gearing up. And I'm for it. I'm all for it. All 3 feet of him. I'm ready. I'm just absolutely ready. And then there's some people out there like, dude, who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? Like, what are you talking about? Have you not been on social media the past year? Like, these guys rule it. These guys absolutely rule it. I prefer Hasbulla's rule over Abdu Rozik's rule, but, this is what they want. And they have my mind within their grasp. And I'm not letting go. I'm going to sit this out. I'm going to see this out. If there is no fight by the end of this year, I might have to give up. Until then, I am fully team Hasbulla. Hasbulla, Hasby, team Hasby, all the way. I know people that are on my side too. Team Hasby. Let's get it done. I mean, this is going to be sick, hopefully. I hope it happens. But it's just kind of like I've had to accept my fate and surrender to Hasbulla and Abdu Rozik content. I've had to do it. I didn't want this. I didn't think that it would happen this way. Truly didn't. I used to call him H back in the day because I didn't want him to be put into my algorithm on Instagram. I wasn't going to have it. But now, I will just go up to my phone and say Hasbulla, 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 Hasbulla. Hopefully to give me more recommendations, and it's been working, I think. And the more you watch the videos, the more you get of him. I'm trying to get it so my entire Explorer page is nothing but Hasbulla, and I want to post it and be like, this is what a winner's Instagram Explorer looks like. The motivation and the dedication that Hasbulla shows is what I put into my life. I should be putting into my life every day. Honestly, he doesn't have to do this. Jesus Christ, they don't make punching bags for him. He has to fight against actual sized punching bags for training. He has to wear little kid shoes. They don't make like little kid Air Force Ones. He has to wear like baby Jordan Air Force, baby Air Force Ones. He has to. He can't wear what you and I wear. He's been fighting an uphill battle his entire life, and he's an inspiration. You think that they make miniature-sized octagons for him? No, they don't. That's called a playpen. That's called a crib. They're not going to be fighting in a crib. They're going to be fighting in an octagon. And are they going to be able to climb out of the octagon? No, that's like climbing Mount Everest. It's going to be difficult. I mean, they've been having an uphill battle this entire time, literally uphill. But I'm here for it. I've succumbed to it. I've accepted it that it's just part of the culture now. Part of the culture. Was that an actual? If it goes back to my theory, was it created by Russian scientists? Were they created by Russian scientists in a lab to do this, to influence the American minds and algorithms? Maybe. Who knows? I'm not sure. That's a theory. Sure as hell a theory. But is it true? Probably not. I would hope that it wouldn't be true. I hope that's not true. I hope I'm not right on this, and I hope that I don't get raided by the KGB, because what do you know about these guys? What do you know? I would not know what to say. I'm like, dude, trust me, I'm a fan of one of them. The other one I'm not so much, but I am a fan. You can look at my Instagram feed. You probably already know it though. Moving on though. Bit of a news story, and in terms of business, I guess you could say. I recently went to the mall a couple days ago to return some shoes. Well, not really return. To exchange shoes for another pair, a bigger size. Not normally something that I do, not having many shoes lately. But this was a special occasion. special occasion. And I was like, I like these shoes a lot. This is what I wanted. It was a gift too, by the way. And I was like, I gotta get these in my size. I gotta get these in my size. And I did. Wound up getting them. And they were from one of my favorite companies of all time. Not just because of what is, just because I like it. But what these people did in the news is so dearly empowering to everybody. And what everybody actually wanted, on their social media feed. Adidas has really knocked it out of the park. And not only in their shoes, but in their absolute passion and drive to potentially bonk everybody on Twitter who enjoys breasts, all shapes and sizes. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful marketing. I think that it was really, really well done. And I'm not crying. I'm just happy. I'm so happy that Adidas, they're geniuses. They truly are. They know how to capture every person who loves breast heart and post a whopping 25 pairs of female breast in promotion for their variety of sports bras. Now, would I have liked a warning? Yes, very much so I would. I mean, I don't follow Adidas, but it's an account that I would check out because I enjoy shoes and I enjoy clothes. But if I'm going to open up the account to see 25 pairs of breasts, I mean, just give me a warning, please. What have I done to you? Why are you doing this to me? I'm already fighting an uphill battle as it is, just being a man nowadays. Now, if thank God I wasn't caught just scrolling on Twitter, because I don't even follow them, but somebody I do follow liked it, and all of a sudden that's on my feed. I'm like, whoa, was not expecting that, but I'm here for it. And you go to their website. They did a pretty good job of advertising sports bras on their website, like pretty damn good. And up until this point, it was pretty good even then. Pictures of different types of women and different types of sports bras. It was. I thought it was pretty awesome, pretty inclusive, pretty, fair for everybody. Every body type, matters. But for you to post a collage of 25 pairs of tits in one picture, by the way, just one picture. So automatically, if you're caught looking at it, you're like, Jesus Christ, man, you can't just pick one? It's like, no, please, listen, hear me out. This is not what it looks like. Look at the account. It's Adidas. They posted this. I don't even follow them. By the way, why the fuck am I getting tweets on my feed that were just liked by somebody? Why even have the retweet option if a like does the exact same thing? What are we doing here, Twitter? What is happening? I mean, God forbid that I go to the effort, that extra click to retweet something, and even if I want to put any more effort into it, to quote tweet, to make it a little bit more creative with a GIF, with a meme, with a funny caption, a video, whatever, to spread the word in a way that you've been promoting this entire time of your existence, to retweet. If a like does the exact same thing with only one measly click, doesn't even say, are you sure you want to retweet this? Retweet or quote tweet? Like, no, is enough of that. Either take those off, or make it so retweeting is the only sole purpose for you to spread around a post or a tweet without you actually typing out something about it. Because this like shit could have been avoided. Could have been avoided by most people, by most men out there that are probably going to be accused if they're, trying to find shoes or something, or just scrolling their feed, and they see that one of their horny friends who needs to be bonked ruined their entire day, their entire career, their entire future. Families were ruined that day. Families were ruined from that. There's no question about it. I mean, I don't know if nudity is really a thing that's on Twitter anyway. I'm sure it's like what's got to be now. I don't really like know all much about Twitter. I just kind of stick to my feed, and that's really about it. But I don't know. I just thought that it was an interesting choice of marketing. Now imagine this: what if we lived in a world where Frank Costanza and Kramer actually sold the man's ear? Will we be getting the same treatment? Will we be seeing 25 pairs of man tits with the same love and affectionate caption and post that the women did? Who knows? I don't know. Because there are certain things that, I think there's like a, I'm not an expert on this, but I'm pretty sure like they make a similar type of thing for men, especially who play soccer. Like I've seen them have like these kind of like mini sports bra type of things. I think it's to prevent chafing, I believe, in male athletes, especially I've seen it in European soccer a lot. Are we going to get the same treatment as our lady friends? Probably not, honestly. We should be promoting male tits and the struggles that we have owning them and having to deal with them our entire lives. Since I was born, since I was like 2, 3, I've had man tits since I was that young. Never been able to shake them, ever. Genetically, can't do it. Always been a big feature of mine. But I've learned to live with it and to be proud of them. This pair that I have right now, and I think that we deserve, it's hard to say, we deserve the same thing, the same treatment. I can only imagine they do this with bottoms. We got the best sports athletic shorts and say, oh yeah, it's going to fit everybody's ass in it. All asses are the same. If that does happen, just might as well just delete Twitter. Delete the app. It's pointless. Who cares anymore? It's over. It's essentially done. We've lost all, what's the word? Sacredness of our bodies, putting them on social media like this. Do we know who those people are? It would be nice to know the ladies that, they changed their lives of these, the just sheer amount of quality and quantity that the Adidas sports bra gives to people. I would love to know how it changes their life and how they feel about the Adidas sports bra being with such a variety of different types or different types of women. I would much rather read their stories of how it changed their life than to just see a big collage, 25 sets of breasts. Maybe if they thought about it differently. Who was behind that? If it was a man, might have a little bit of a problem there. Might be a little bit of a problem. If it was a lesbian woman who was, a little horny, maybe we also have a little bit of a problem there. Who knows? We don't know. Will we ever know? Probably not. All I want is equality. That's all I want. Man tits are a thing. They do exist. We do have them. Are we given bras? Man's ears? No, we're not. We just have to let them face the music. What if I don't want them to face the music? Too bad. That's it. All you have is a shirt. You get hard nipples, it's cold out there, you're on your own. No options. Little options for men. Little options. This is all a joke, by the way. I hope you all know that. Moving on to not news, to some other things. In the form of entertainment and TV in particular. Just finished, everybody who has been caught up has finished watching the Book of Boba Fett, the Disney Plus show centered around Boba Fett, played by Tamora Morrison, also starring Ming-Na Wen as Fennec Shand. Of course, Tamora Morrison played Jango Fett in the Attack of the Clones and has reprised his role. I guess, technically is still the role. Jango Fett was a clone. Boba Fett is an identical clone of Jango Fett, just does not age like the other clones that were, the clone troopers in those movies and in that era. But here we are. And I've said a little bit about this, particularly the first 2 episodes. I gave my thoughts and my initial, thoughts about the show. And now I want to, fully give my full review of it, because it's now completed. At least season 1 has now been completed. And I got a lot of thoughts. I have a lot of thoughts on this show. Some good, some bad. Mostly good, I would say, but also some bad. Not every show is perfect, and not every show, always sticks the landing in this case. In this case, I think that it's a little bit weak. A little lackluster of an ending. And I'll get to that, but let's just start from the beginning. The entire show, what's it about? Well, it is called The Book of Boba Fett, which is, going to show us a story, essentially, of what happens after Boba Fett gets out of the Sarlacc pit, which you see happen. And by the way, besides that, there's going to be no spoilers. I think that if you don't already know or think, well, how is Boba Fett alive? Well, obviously, he got out of the fucking Sarlacc pit. He had to have been. So that's not even a spoiler at this point. Gets out of the Sarlacc pit, and his journey, after that, and to where you see him now in The Mandalorian Season 2 and even up to now, right? So I think that the show does a very good job in the first 4 episodes, besides episode 3, to really ground us in the world of Boba Fett and what he's dealing with and what he wants to become. He no longer really wants to be a bounty hunter. He kind of wants to be a boss now and rule with respect and not fear, not like Jabba the Hutt did back in the day, and kind of be like, I don't like being like a tool for somebody to just say, hey, go kill somebody or go bring me somebody either dead or alive. It doesn't matter. He's done with that. And I respect that. I enjoy that decision because I think that it gives you a little bit of a realistic approach to what he was all about. If you've even watched the Clone Wars, and up until then, you've reached and that Boba Fett had a rough life of crime and bounty hunting and killing and violence. So that changed for him to want to be more of the boss and kind of reshape his life a little bit. It definitely does make sense, especially the way how he gets there, his relationship with the Tusken Raiders that found him, that kept him alive, became more of a kind of like a more spiritual, more person of respect and gratitude and kindness. It all really does, in my opinion, make sense, and it doesn't really take anything away from the character. It just kind of shows you another light that he never really had, that he actually got to experience with these Tusken Raiders. And I think that the first 2 episodes do a great job with that. I think episode 2 is one of the better episodes of any TV show, Star Wars related I've ever seen. And I can't say the same thing for episode 2, because it does kind of get a little bit wonky in sometimes. And that's also, part of some of the episodes, not just episode 3, but even the last episode, they just kind of get a little wonky for me. And a little bit, very too corny action, I think you could say. It's directed, these episodes, or some of the episodes were directed by Robert Rodriguez, and he was a big part in this show being created and being written, and having his feel and his touch. He's got certain actors in there. There's certain elements where you can see like this is Robert Rodriguez full and through. With the designs of some of the speeders, some of the character designs, some of the action, all that stuff. And it's not to say that it doesn't fit. It does fit. It just feels weird when you see it happen. For instance, there's like a couple scenes where these people are fighting each other, and these characters are called mods, right? They're like cybernetic people with like, they have like a cybernetic arm, cybernetic leg, cybernetic eyeball, and they all have different types of cybernetics sometimes, and they have like a very Alita Battle Angel look. If you don't know that movie, he directed that movie too, and was heavily involved in that. So it kind of gave me like an Alita Battle Angel look, which is like, oh yeah, this is totally Robert Rodriguez here. This is I can totally see this is like influenced by the stuff that he's done before. And I just thought it was kind of wonky at some points. And so those were episodes 1, 2, and 3. 4, 5, and 6, you really kind of 4, you dive more into the plot of, Boba's overarching story with the Pike Syndicate and the gangs and the cities and the territories and all that of who owns what, and you better not step on our territory and all that. And then you get conflict arises between the gangs and then Boba Fett, and then that's all good and all sets it up pretty well. And then essentially the next 2 episodes are not very Boba heavy at all. Very much very little Boba and more Mandalorian. Din Djarin, and his quest on. He has the Darksaber still from Mando season 2, and his adventures. He gets a new speeder. He gets a new ship in his quest, and he wants to see Grogu and all that and stuff like that. And it really, the episodes are fantastic. They're fantastic. And I've been having trouble with this for a while because I don't want to call them filler. Because normally when I think of filler, I think of like annoying, bad, and I also tend to think of pointless as well. In my opinion, these aren't bad, these aren't annoying, and they're not pointless. But they aren't Boba Fett. They are Mandalorian. So I guess you kind of have to, by definition, in that it's not part of Mandalorian, you kind of have to call them filler. Although I don't like it. I truly, because filler gets such a bad rap. It gets such a bad, name. It's got such bad publicity on its name, filler. Yeah, nobody likes that. But I think that what was I gonna say? I don't feel like I lost anything in those episodes. I gained more, and I really, really enjoy those episodes. Episodes 5 and 6, incredible episodes. Although the fact that they didn't have any Boba Fett, which I do see why people complained about it and why people didn't like it. To me, I also wish that there was more Boba Fett, because it is his show. It's marketed as his show, and to see him not even really in any of the episodes. I mean, he's tasked. Boba wants him to help him in his situation and in his war, essentially. So I was kind of happy that you didn't just see Mando just show up and fight. I do enjoy that you saw Mando in more of a story progression about his character and his story and people around him. I thought that was really cool, and it really dives into really nostalgic moments in Star Wars in terms of characters, in terms of, ships and all that, and droids, and it's really, really awesome to see. And it just feels like they really, went all in on the nostalgia factor, but it didn't seem like it was so, it wasn't unwanted. It was totally wanted, and it was just so good. And from what I, remember, a lot of the reception was, yeah, no Boba Fett, but freaking awesome to watch. So I think that in my opinion, on those 2 episodes, the good severely outweighs the bad, in my opinion, for sure. Do I wish that there was more Boba Fett, like maybe a cutback to see what was happening, maybe a little bit more insert shots or a little bit more stuff where, we didn't just leave him hanging. He's not just doing nothing at this moment. Yes, I would have appreciated that more. Do I feel like this might have been a little bit of a Mandalorian season 3 or trying to make something bigger or expanding the universe more. Yeah, it does seem like that, but I still feel like if that's what they're going for, if this is going to be like a Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau type of MCU styled universe in Star Wars, then I think that it definitely is fine. It's fine. It's not like it shouldn't be like looked at as this should be forbidden. This should never happen ever again. No, I just think that they probably wanted to find ways to plant these seeds and to plant things, and like, well, you can do it in Boba Fett. I mean, Boba Fett has technically was in the Mandalorian show, and why not we put Mandalorian in Boba Fett? Now, in Mandalorian, he was still the main character. He was never really, sided off, really. Not a whole lot, but I understand the complaints and I understand the gripes, but in the end of the day, those episodes with Mandalorian, geez, man, great stuff happening. Great stuff. And again, like I said, expanding more world building and all that with other characters and other places. I thought it was awesome. I truly, truly did. Now we get to the finale, episode 7, the last episode that just aired. I'll be honest with you. After seeing those past 2 episodes, and then even before that, the build up towards that, the first 4 episodes with Boba, very centric, it definitely does seem that there wasn't a whole lot to the Boba Fett story, to to his story and to his conflict. It did seem like it was a little lackluster in terms of story development and in story in general. A lot of action in this last episode. A lot of action, a lot of good action, a lot of good effects too. They really shelled it out in this one with the effects and all that in the action. Really cool. A couple of weird decisions by Robert Rodriguez in terms of directing the action. But at the end of the day, it's awesome to watch Mando and Boba just absolutely team up and have a good team up and stuff like that. And it was awesome to see. And there's a moment in here where it's like, there's, been talks on the internet and talks online like Boba seems soft and all that. And, he doesn't seem like the feared bounty hunter like we remembered or the killer that he used to be and all that. And then there's a moment where that has to come out and he has to channel that again. And I'm not going to say what happens because that'll be a big spoiler. But it's when it does happen, it's like, oh yeah, there we go. That's what we know Boba Fett to be. That's Boba Fett. And it was just great to see. And to the character that it happened to, and in the way that it happened was like, oh shit, that changes a lot of things. Or how is that going to shape the future of Star Wars? Like what's going to happen after that? But, at the same time, it did kind of feel like some points in this episode, Mando kind of outshined Boba. It's like, all right. Like, Boba's there. Have Boba do that. Or don't have Mando do everything. But it was a couple times. It wasn't like the entire time. But I think Boba got his good moments in there. I think he really did. I think that he ended strong. Not perfect, not great. But I think it was a strong ending to the show. Overall, though, solid show. A bit of a lackluster ending, but a lot of good moments in there. A lot of expanding on the Filoni-Favreau universe that I'm excited to see. And I think that it's going to be in a good direction. I think that it's definitely promising. But not their strongest. And does it show like, well, they didn't really write anything good for Boba Fett? Was it kind of like a little bit of a disservice? I truly don't think so. I mean, like, you go back to, you watch those first those first 4 episodes. Those are some really, really good episodes. They're not first 2 and then the 4th episode. Those are really, really good, especially 2. Oh my God, that is like, I was like so into it then, and I think that they just kind of ran out of things to write. Honestly, like there was never really a big catalog on Boba Fett in the first place. He wasn't like a hugely main character in the Clone Wars, like maybe a couple arcs, but like not a whole lot there. Like before that, you didn't even really know what he was. He was a kid in the Attack of the Clones, and that was about it. And then he was in the Empire Strikes Back, in the main movies at least. But I don't know, just kind of ran out of steam with Boba, I guess, which is, it's disappointing. But at the same time, we got some really, really tight episodes, good moments, really good moments. Not a whole lot of finale, just okay. So at the end of the day, I think I'm gonna give this show, and I'm gonna give it an 8.1 out of 10. Definitely not Mandalorian like 8.8, 8.9, where it's like, oh shit, this is awesome. It's awesome, but it's just definitely not as strong as Mandalorian. Definitely not. Definitely can use some work. Can maybe get a little bit more balancing with the characters in some parts. Especially if you're going to call it the Book of Boba Fett. I mean, you really... some people are going to be like, what is this? It's like... So, I don't know. Maybe... But, Boba Fett is going to get asses in seats, It's just like... It's the part of marketing, which is like, shit, how are we going to market this? How are we going to get people to watch this? I will say that unlike Mando Season 2 ending last year, there was, not last year, the ending of at the end of 2020, there was really no big announcement after. I mean, there was no stay tuned for, the New Republic or the Rangers of the, whatever they have next slotted in. There was a little tease at the end, which is, I think that you could kind of put that in maybe another show. I didn't think that it needed to be shown there. I think it would have been a better surprise in another show. But they did what they wanted, and it wasn't terrible. But just no real big announcement yet. Unlike last 2 years ago with Mandalorian, the Book of Boba Fett, coming December 2021. But all in all, good show, solid show. A little bit of a lackluster ending, but they can't all be perfect. This might have been a little bit of a blemish on Favreau and Filoni, but still really good to see. Still really good. I want to talk a little bit about staying in the realm of entertainment and in movies this time. More movies. The Oscars are coming up. The Oscars just released their nominations, and listen, I have a movie in the running for these Oscars. I am absolutely wasn't into the Oscars last year because, we just didn't have many movies last year, to be honest with you. That was back in March of 2021. Yeah, no movies came out in 2020. I was like, who am I going to root for? I haven't seen any of these movies. And I was just thinking oh my God, this year is going to be different because my favorite movie and the best movie that I've seen this entire year, Dune, gets nominated for 10 Oscars. 10 Oscars. I think that there was a bit of a snub, though. Denis Villeneuve did not get nominated for Best Director. I think that's very, very criminal with that. Because how do you nominate the Best Picture but not Best Directing? I thought that was incredibly, incredibly criminal by the Academy. And I'm just like, what are you doing? Clearly, this is, in my opinion, Dune is one of the best movies, big spectacle movies that we've had. Since I wouldn't say The Force Awakens. I wouldn't say Endgame really, because that's just all build up in fan base and it's hard because I feel like it's very comparable to Star Wars and Lord of the Rings. Maybe more Lord of the Rings, that more grand scheming feel of the world and the vastness and the stakes and the characters and all that. I think that more comparable to Lord of the Rings than Star Wars, but it just feels like another massive franchise that we're just going to be. We just got a taste of in the first half of Dune, and we're going to go on a bigger and grander ride as we go along. And they just got greenlit for Dune Part 2. Just here we go, man. But I just feel like Dune just stole my mind in the theaters. It didn't even look like it was filmed on Earth, I think. It actually felt like I was on Arrakis. I was on a different planet in the very distant future watching something happen. I was totally blown away by that movie. Totally blown away. Now, this is also going to be a bit, to where the critics and the Academy side on, because they've been very, 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 I would say, biased to Hollywood movies, to, what's the word that I'm looking for? Not like big blockbustery franchises, but, more like on the independent side. And, not as flashy. Like, if you look at the Best Picture nominations, like, honestly, I've only seen one of them, but I think that none of them stand a chance towards Dune. Like, you got Nightmare Alley, you got Don't Look Up, you have Dune, Drive My Car, Belfast, Licorice Pizza, The Power of the Dog, West Side Story, King Richard, and Coda. I mean, I think anybody who actually watches movies, not a critic, is going to pick Dune to be the best picture. If you're talking about like the actual best picture, not like best writing, not best performance, not best whatever cinematography, but best picture, you have to pick Dune, right? I mean, there's no way that Dune should be losing to Don't Look Up or Licorice Pizza. I mean, like, that would be such a disservice to cinema and to adventure. It'd be such a disgrace to, how you feel in the movie theater, how you feel after you watch a movie. Like, Dune was just like the ultimate for me. And I haven't seen any other of these nominees because, look, I'm not going to watch, I haven't seen Nightmare Alley, I haven't seen Don't Look Up, I haven't seen Drive My Car, Belfast. Were these even released in theaters? I know that Don't Look Up, or Nightmare Alley was, I think. Don't Look Up is Netflix, which I could watch, but I haven't watched it yet. Licorice Pizza, I haven't seen that. Power of the Dog, I have not seen that. West Side Story, I was thinking about seeing that, but I'm not a huge fan of musicals, but I am a fan of Steven Spielberg, so maybe I'll watch that whenever it's on Disney+. King Richard, did not get around to seeing that, and Coda, never even fucking heard of that. So it's like, I mean, just, I don't want it to be like a popularity contest, but like I just feel like Dune should win this, truly. I mean, like, if look, you might have thought it was slow, you might have thought it was like, not your favorite movie, but you definitely have to be like, yo, that was a movie. Like, that's what you pay to go watch a movie in theaters. Like, that is one of the most biggest, grandest movie going experiences I've ever seen in maybe the past decade, maybe since Avatar. Like, Endgame, yeah, it's cool. Infinity War, yeah, it's cool. It was not as grand as like Dune was. Like, Dune was like, you felt that. You watch that shit in IMAX, you're like, holy fuck, I am at Arrakis right now. That's a worm right there. That's an ornithopter right there. Holy shit. I mean, the score and everything, I'm like, dude, it's got to be Dune. If it's not Dune, I'll be incredibly, incredibly furious, and you will be hearing from me on Twitter. Check out these other nominations that we have. The ones that I've heard of and am aware of. I'm so rooting for Will Smith to be the best actor, because I've heard nothing but greatness of that guy playing in King Richard Williams, the father of Serena and Venus Williams. I've heard nothing but excellence from that. And he's one of my favorite actors ever, of all time, working today, ever. And I would be so happy if a big Will Smith fan like me and Will Smith just getting the best actor nomination, that'd be incredible. I would be so happy. I'd be through the roof on that. Through the roof. Best actress, don't really know anybody from this. Didn't see any of these movies. Again, like, these are nominated for, like, The Eyes of Tammy Faye, Jessica Chastain, The Eyes of Tammy Faye, Olivia Colman, The Lost Daughter, Kristen Stewart, Spencer, Nicole Kidman, Being the Ricardos, Penelope Cruz, Parallel Mothers. Like, who saw any of these? The only thing that I kind of know is Being the Ricardos, but was that released like in theaters, or was that like a selective release? I don't know what that was. I never seen anything like that. International feature film. Never seen any of these because how would I watch those, honestly? How is a common man going to watch any of these? Best original song, No Time to Die, Billie Eilish. I thought that the Billie Eilish and Phineas, I thought that the Adele's was way better, honestly, to be honest with you. Dos Arguritas by Lin-Manuel Miranda. I'm Mexican, sorry. Somehow You Do from the motion picture Four Good Days. See, I don't know any of this. Down to Joy, Van Morrison. What the hell? I didn't even know that. Best animated feature. Now, this one I should have probably watched more, but I didn't. Encanto, did not see. Luca, did not see. Flea, no idea what that is. Looks foreign. This looks like it might have been made in like the Norway. I am just speculating on the name itself and who's behind it. What else? Best animated. The Mitchells versus the Machines. No idea. Raya and the Last Dragon. So we got 1, 2, 3 Disney nominees. The other ones I have no idea. Don't know who's going to win that one. Best Supporting Actress, Kristen Dunst in The Power of the Dog. Ariana DeBose, West Side Story. Jessie Buckley, The Lost Daughter. Anhuina Ellis, King Richard. I'm butchering that. I'm sorry. Judi Dench, Belfast. I'm rooting for Kirsten Dunst because she was Mary Jane in the OG Spider-Man. Hell yeah. And I'm glad that she's acting again. I don't know if she took a break or anything like that, but I haven't seen her in a movie in a minute. Best Director, again, no Denis Villeneuve. Very sad. Jane Campion, The Power of the Dog. Kenneth Branagh, Belfast. Really, he made a good movie, huh? This is going to be hard. Ryusuke Hamaguchi, Drive My Car. Sorry if I butchered that. Steven Spielberg, West Side Story. I'm a big Spielberg fan, but I need to watch this movie. Paul Thomas Anderson, Licorice Pizza. Have not seen. Also didn't even want to see, based on the trailer. Look kind of weird. Best Supporting Actor. Who are these guys? Probably, I don't even know any of them. Troy Kotsur, Coda, Cody Smith McPhee, The Power of the Dog. J.K. Simmons, Being the Ricardos. He was in that? See, how have I not seen these? You got to do better marketing, guys. Ciaran Hines, Belfast, and Jesse Plemons, The Power of the Dog. Well, he's a good actor, I guess. I'm going to go through all these. I'm sorry. Maybe some I won't. Live action short film. Who cares? Honestly. Best documentary feature. Okay, what are these about? Ascension, Riding with Fire, Flea, Attica, Summer of Soul. Haven't seen any of them. Must have not been that good. Best visual effects. Here we go. Dune, Spider-Man No Way Home, Free Guy, No Time to Die, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Dune's got to win this. I saw everything in that movie look so good and so real that I thought that it was an actual place. No cap. Honestly. Spider-Man, MCU movie, will never win it. Free Guy, haven't seen. No Time to Die. I barely saw any effects, which, I mean, is good too, but, like, that probably has, like, no visual effects, like, worth, like, oh, this is a crowning achievement. Nah. Shang-Chi, Marvel movie, not looking that good, to be honest with you. I'm surprised I was even nominated. Some of the CGI in that movie looked pretty bad. Honestly, gotta be Dune. I know I'm sounding biased. I know. But I actually have a movie to root for, and it's Dune. So, Best Original Screenplay, Don't Look Up, Belfast, Licorice Pizza, The Worst Person in the World, King Richard, I don't know who's going to win that. Best Short Documentary, don't give a shit. Best Original Score, Encanto, Don't Look Up, Dune, The Power of the Dog, and Parallel Mothers. Dune's got to win that. Hans Zimmer truly went off on that, made it a heart-pumping, intense, angelic score. I mean, there hasn't been a score that I've been obsessed with in a long time than Dune's. Dune's it was insane. It really accompanies the movie and the cinematography so well. So well. I couldn't get enough of it. What else? Best Adapted Screenplay, The Lost Daughter, Dune, Drive My Car, Power of the Dog, and Coda. I gotta go with Dune. I haven't seen any of these other chumps. Best Animated Short Film, Robin, The Windshield Wiper, Affairs of the Art, Box Ballet, and Beast. I haven't seen any of those. Best Hair and Makeup, don't care. Actually, is Dune nominated? Dune should win. Best Film Editing, Don't Look Up, Dune, Tick Tick Boom, The Power of the Dog, and King Richard. It should be Dune, no question. Best Cinematography, Nightmare Alley, Dune, Power of the Dog, The Tragedy of Macbeth, and West Side Story. I'm gonna bet that West Side Story wins this. The West Side Story, from the trailers and the promotion, looked like it was shot incredibly, incredibly well. I think that Dune still looks better, but I've seen some previews and some trailers of West Side Story, and it looks really awesome. Like cinematography-wise, the way it was shot looks amazing. What's next? I think that is it. Was that it? Let's see. Where was I at? It just refreshed on its own. I was on cinematography, right? Cinematography. Yeah, that's it. Okay. So that's the Oscars. Hopefully that the nominations just came out this week. I hope Dune wins. I really, really do. I love that movie so much. I love it. I loved it. Moving on. Now on to sports. At the end of the show. Got quite a bit to talk about in sports. So apparently I forgot that the Winter Olympics were on. I forgot about them. I had no idea. I've seen a couple things about it, like building up to it, but I haven't seen anything on social media, nothing on Twitter, nothing on Instagram about opening ceremonies, medal ceremonies, nothing. Barely any events, nothing. I forgot about the Olympics. Until one day on Twitter, I was browsing through my timeline, and somebody either retweeted or liked, doesn't matter nowadays, that one of the ski events, I think it's like a big ramp thing or something, you go downhill something, it's like right in front of like this old Chinese steel mill, and I couldn't help but saying, like, what in the world were we thinking putting the Winter Olympics in China? And in a place that, for one, is not snowing at the moment, and two, not even really remotely known for winter activities. What the hell were we thinking? Those should be in Sweden, Finland, Norway, Switzerland, Germany, places with snow, Canada. Why don't we have the Winter Olympics in a place where it snows, where you can get a natural snowpack in a natural ski resort, natural ice, natural cold weather, a place where you have to, because they have a theme where, like, everybody gets, like, the matching coats, the matching snow pants, the matching beanies, the matching scarves, matching gloves, like, actually put it in a place where you can get the atmosphere of winter games. What is up with that? And I was just thinking, like, bro, from that one picture that I've seen, like, I can't tell if anybody watching, who I don't know anybody who is watching, is actually feeling the Olympic fever. I truly don't think so. I mean, there's also some things that are happening with China's politics that have got people stirred up. I know that at least the United States diplomats have not gone to China under claims of things that I will not say to not get banned. Not good things. Not good things, pretty bad things. So it all kind of just feels like it's just, who wants it? Who wants to watch this right now? I certainly don't. I mean, I truly don't. Hand to God, I don't want to watch this. I think that it looks so stupid for them to put ski slopes in the middle of that steel plant. I just thought it was so stupid. Now, that's not going to say, like, every other place is like that, but it would feel a lot better if the Winter Olympics were in a place where it was actively snowing and not in a place that just isn't snowing at all. Like Beijing, China. Didn't Beijing just have the Olympics back in 2012, 2008, whatever that was? You just had it. You want it again? We gotta put an end to this. Like, this is just, you gotta have a place where it snows, or at least where it's really cold and you have to bundle up like that. Now, I'm not sure what the weather is like in Beijing, but I have seen no snow on the ground there, from that photo at least. I'm gonna look it up right now. At this moment, what is the weather like in Beijing, China? All right, it says it's 35 degrees right now. I don't believe that. It says it's supposed to snow on Sunday, though. 29 degrees, which, we'll see. I didn't know it got that cold in China. Is this real? This better be real. I mean, I had no idea that it got that cold in China. But it's not snowing, though, so it's got to be snow. You got to have snow. What are you doing? All right, it says it's going to snow on next Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We'll see. But, just like a general, outlook. It's like, would you picture Beijing to host the Winter Olympics? No. Come on. Like I said, dude, in Finland, Sweden, Norway, Switzerland, all those places, Canada, where they have snow, would be a much better feel. And not in front of a steel mill. That looks like it's just, bad pollution. It looks very dull, very grayed out. Just not good. You just got to be better, Olympic Committee. Come on. Now moving on to football. This week is Super Bowl week, and I've been thinking about a lot of things. One of them is the Pro Bowl. The Pro Bowl. Let's talk about that. I didn't watch a single snap live. I watched 2 highlight clips on Twitter. And yeah, I mean, I think that we should abolish it. The Pro Bowl should be done with. It should be over. There is no reason, absolutely no reason, why anybody in the right mind would want to attend in person, like at the stadium, or even watch on TV what these guys are doing. These guys are just having fun, which is cool for them, but this is not a product where people are going to tune in to watch. I mean, I'm sorry, but I just find no desire at all to watch the Pro Bowl. I mean, it was essentially became two-touch football. And then you have Mac Jones who gets touched and is essentially down and runs to the end zone anyway and does the gritty, who gives a shit? It's like, oh my God. I mean, how could anybody really actually be like, yeah, the Pro Bowl was sick, right? Nobody would say that. Nobody would say that. Be like, yeah, what a shit show this is. So I think that nowadays, and people have been chirping out Deion Sanders has been saying yeah, remember when we actually played in that game? Yeah, it was fun, and we actually played a real game of football, which back then they probably did to more of an extent than what we have been doing, and but nowadays it's all about money. It's all about getting paid. You get paid money to do it, so that I'm like, well, I guess I'll show up and I'll do it. I don't gotta try that hard because I'm not trying to get injured. You know what I'm saying? Which I completely get. You don't want to get injured. You don't want to pull a hamstring, tweak something when you don't have to, because you don't want to have to set any of your preparation for next season back. It's going to be a big cost to your treatment regiment, whatever you're doing. It's I understand that completely understand it. But I just feel it's. I think that we're past the point where it's considered competitive, far past that point, and then even more so past the part where the audiences at home even give a shit. I want to see the ratings of the Pro Bowl so bad, but I know they'll be so terrible. But it's just something. Maybe we just gotta change it up. Maybe we gotta put it different. Maybe we don't put it Maybe we call it who's the least Pro Bowl. Whoever loses we get the two worst teams, and then it's called who is the least pro. Whoever loses that game, who is the the last game, whoever loses that game is considered the least pro football team, because there's a lot of bad teams out there, a lot of terrible teams, and would definitely get a better product, I would assume, because they actually be trying to win the game, and it would be it would just be it would be more entertaining. Like, they get all the best players, right, who aren't in the Super Bowl, but it's like, if the best players aren't going to try, if nobody's going to try, then it's just watching people easily play football. It's like, it's not even fun. At least in basketball, they can kind of like show off their skills and all that, do dunks, trick shots and all that, do cool passes. This can't really do that. I mean, it just doesn't translate as well as the NBA All-Star game as it does to the pro. It doesn't translate as well as the NBA All-Star game does. The Pro Bowl is just, it's truly should be done with. But that's it, though. Pro Bowl's done. We are now a few days away from the Super Bowl, and what's going to happen there. I really, 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 really hope that my Rams win. I'm like getting nervous now. I'm nervous and I'm excited at the same time, because one, it's the Super Bowl, already excited, but now I actually have a team. My team is in it, and I get to root for them hard, heavy, and I'm going to be probably a mess that entire day. I'll be honest with you. I don't know how this is going to, go about, because I truly, truly don't know how I'm going to react to certain things, because I've already got it planned in my head of what might happen in that game. I'm predicting that the Rams are going to jump out to a pretty big lead in the first half, and that the Bengals will chip away in the third quarter and the fourth quarter, and we might blow it. That's one of my predictions. Like, we actually might blow this game, and it'll be a colossal disaster. It'll be who we got to blame for this? We got to blame Stafford, McVay, the defense. Who we blame? It's like, that will be an all-time nightmare situation if we actually go up at half and we just collapse. Because we've had some shaky performances in the second half of these past few games, and I feel like the Bengals are also good enough to actually disrupt that flow. And I just feel like this is going to end bad. I already know what's going to happen the day after that. We're going to be scrutinized. We're going to be teased. And I just don't want that to happen, because I am like one of the few Rams fans in my friend group. So I know that I'm going to get it if we don't win. Jesus, man, it's going to be a painful next couple weeks. Maybe just the next week, but that's going to be a painful few days, man. Painful few days, and I just don't want that to happen. But on the other hand, I have another prediction. We just steamroll them, and we don't look back, because one, we have better players. I'll be honest with you. We have Matthew Stafford, Odell Beckham Jr., Cooper Kupp, Cam Akers, Aaron Donald, Von Miller, Jalen Ramsey. We just have so many good players out there that I feel like that we just can't lose this game at home. And Aaron Donald is he's angry now. He's playing angry. He wants to win that Super Bowl because he's already been there. He just wants to actually win it now. And what a better opportunity than at home against the Bengals, man. What a better opportunity. I know that they have Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, but I still feel like our team is just better. We have a better defense. We proved that the last couple weeks, especially towards the end of the 49ers game, that we were able to stick with it and actually come alive when we needed to. So we have to make sure that if we don't get off to a good start, that we could come alive at certain points. I would love if we got off to a good start, offensively and defensively. That'd make my day. But if I have to be realistic and knowing the past, knowing what's happened before, McVay is going to fuck something up. He's just going to fuck something up. Now, whether that's timeouts, whether that's challenges, whether that's bad play calling, causing, a turnover, who knows? I just know that it's going to happen. It is going to happen. We are going to be getting a McVay coaching brain fart, and it might hurt us and cause us to lose. I truly hope not. That'll really put me in. that'll destroy me, because it's like, dude, you've been doing this entire run and you've been getting away with it. Now you can't. You gotta cool your jets on this. Take a deep breath. Maybe don't go for the big plays all this time. If he has Matthew Stafford fucking throwing a 90-yard bomb on like fucking 1st and 10 with 2 minutes left, causes an interception, like, dude, why are you doing that? There's just a lot that can go wrong. A lot I've been thinking about, a lot I've been going through in my head, and I just want to win. Tim the Tatman said that the Rams would win. He's been an absolute jinx this entire postseason, this entire playoffs. So, I don't know. If I was not a Rams fan, which I am, I would probably bet this house on the Bengals to win. But since I'm, and plus because of what Tim the Tatman said, but since I am a Rams fan, I'm not betting anything. I'm just watching as a fan, and I want them to win so badly. And people are saying like, America wants the Rams to win, or the Bengals to win so badly. Well, how about you talk to Pittsburgh Steelers fans, Baltimore Ravens fans, or Cleveland Browns fans? Do they want the Steelers or the Bengals to win? I doubt it. I 100% doubt it. So we got a couple states on our side right now, or at least half of one state and 2 other states on our side. So let's go, man. I'm ready. I'm juiced. I'm gonna be barbecuing. It's gonna be lit. I can't wait. But yeah, that's gonna be interesting. This is gonna be bad for me. This is gonna be very bad. I'm not gonna be able to take it. I gotta make sure I have a doctor on site, because this is gonna be. I might do something bad. Not like, hurt anybody, but I might like fucking hurt myself. Might jump too high. Might crash through a wall, punch a wall. I don't want to, but I might slam a table, slam my desk. I might break my hand. I don't know what's gonna happen. I just want us to win. That'll be so good. Sweet, sweet victory. Could you imagine a year after announcing that I would be a Rams fan, the year that I become a Rams fan, we win the Super Bowl? God, it's gonna be. It would be so. I would be so happy. Just so energetic, so electric. That moment's going to be so good. McVay would win one. Stafford would win one. Aaron Donald would win one. OBJ would win one. It's going to be... Von Miller would get his 2nd Super Bowl. Oh, man. I really hope that it happens. I can see it now. I can see the glory, and I can see the despair. And I'm just going to be ready for both. I'm going to try to be ready for both. If we win, I'm going to be so happy. If we lose, dear God, you can guarantee a storm is going to be brewing on Twitter and on next week's episode. So with that being said, I'm going to leave you guys with that. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Remember, you can find this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube at Intelligent Moron with Alex Silva. Remember to like the video, to share the video, to rate the video, review it, thumbs up, subscribe, do all that good jazz. And again, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys back next week.